Thank you very much. First of all, Ms. Boss, thank you so much. And I fully support your advocacy that the Department of Justice have as a priority, focusing on victims. And I also want to express to the Epstein victims my appreciation for allowing me to be with you yesterday and be so uplifted by your support for one another and all you've done to ennoble the rights of victims and the strength of victims to recover. Thank you very much. Mr. Ashcroft, I wanted to first of all say we seem to have a problem in Missouri with the attorney generals not being able to keep their job. They all end up in the U.S. Senate. You started quite a trend with Mr. Hawley and Mr. Schmidt.
Well, in all deference, it should be remembered that a very important member of the Senate named Jack Danforth
That's right.
had previously served as Attorney General of Missouri. So myself excluded, I have been a privilege to be in a line of individuals that I believe have rendered very significant and valuable service to this nation.
Well, I think you, thank you, and I agree with that. And I think, first of all, I want to express to you how much I've admired your career. And I think that being an Attorney General is probably the most difficult cabinet position. And one of the things that's required is that you give advice to the President, and it may be advice he doesn't want to hear. And, you know, I remember March of 2004 when you were recovering from an illness, and Mr. Comey was the acting Attorney General. And the President's counsel came to your hospital room and wanted you to sign off on a security law that Mr. Comey, in his opinion, thought was not legal. And you said that was Mr. Comey's decision because he was the acting Attorney General. Is that right?
I believe that the the written reports, you know, it's been in novels and other things, and I have no reason to contest what they've said.
Right.
I was in bed with a morphine pump in one hand. I was in what you call, what do they call this, intensive care. And
but the bottom line here is that the President wanted an answer to permit him to proceed, but it was the opinion of Mr. Comey at that time that that was not legal. And this raises really what I think is the heart of what is so challenging to be Attorney General. The President is the executive, you serve in his cabinet, but there are times when an Attorney General has to say no. Is that correct? No attorney ever is a good attorney who doesn't tell his client the truth. Right.
And it's important that the client trust the attorney.
And I
so
appreciate
can accept that. And so I believe that the Attorney General is sworn to the Constitution of the United States.
And not to an individual.
He answers to the President. He is sworn to the Constitution.
That's exactly right. Now, also, when the Enron case, which was an explosive case, came up, you had received contributions in your political career. They were totally and completely legal. But my understanding is because of that and the appearance of a potential conflict, you recused yourself from that case, correct?
I wish I remembered things, especially things you say are favorable about what I've done. but it's over 2 decades ago that I did a lot of these things.
What you did, Mr. Ashcroft, is what needs to be done. You said it. It's the Constitution who's your client. It's the American people who are ultimately your client. And you have to give that direct and candid advice to the executive, who is the President. So that's my question about Mr. Blanche. It's not his competence. It's not that he's got an ongoing relationship. But could you imagine serving as Attorney General and having President Bush come to you and say, by the way, who paid you $9 million before you got to be Attorney General to represent him in criminal actions, okay? This is, it's astonishing, right? But then he said, I've got an idea. We're going to sue the federal government for $10 billion, and you're going to represent the IRS And then why don't you work out a settlement where there's a $1.7 billion fund that I control? Would you see anything like odd about that?
I didn't have that situation. I didn't have a president that had been the subject of illegal disclosure of his activities.
No, but
criminal disclosure.
I want to get to your judgment on this because
but I swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's a big challenge in an oath, so I want to give my answer and not your answer, although I respect your question.
No, but what I'm asking, you have incredible credibility, incredible character,
incredible credibility is kind of almost like Senate speak.
Right, but
unbelievable believability. I mean,
no,
yes, I was in this body myself and sat on that side of the dais, but
well, you wouldn't have had that reputation if you were a senator. I mean, this is because you stood up to the president.
Oh yes, I would. I was honest as a senator. I have to. I confess my faults from both eras, both my legislative.
I'm just going to finish. Thank you for your indulgence. But number one, when you saw that there was the appearance of a conflict, you did not continue representing the government in the Enron case. Number two, when it came to a president's demand on something of vital concern to the president, a national security law, surveillance law, where it was the opinion of your department that it was illegal, you stood up to the president and didn't cave. I respect that, and I believe that's the obligation and the burden of whoever serves as our Attorney General. Mr. Blanche does not share that.
I thank you for that respect. I hope when I grow up I live to do things right.
Senator, tell us.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.